Anthropic's brand new model, Opus 4.7, just dropped, and it's the greatest coding model on the planet. In this video, we're going to be covering everything new. We'll walk over the exact benchmark improvements with Opus 4.7 and its new capabilities. We'll talk about the new Claude Code features that come with this model release, and we'll analyze the controversy around this release and how it relates to the upcoming Mythos release by Anthropic. So, how good actually is Opus 4.7? Well, it pretty much smashes 4.6 across all benchmarks. Looking at this chart from the release notes, we can see that across all of these, agentic coding, agentic terminal coding, multidisciplinary reasoning, Opus 4.7 is trumping 4.6 as well as the other companies' flagship models by a pretty significant margin. I know I've been using it for the 24 hours it's been out, and I've gotten great results, whether it's web development, iOS development, backend architecture. I've seen a nice improvement there. Also noted in the release notes is 4.7 is more strict at instruction following. So if you have best practices in your Claude MD file with using Claude Code or any agents MD, it's gonna make sure to adhere to those practices or formalities you have defined there, making it much more consistent experience when coding across code bases. It's also just a flat out beast at real world tasks. So if you're a Claude Cowork user, you may be not a full-time software engineer, in the finance agent scores right down here, you can see it's beating other previous models, which is a pretty cool benchmark to see. I know I've certainly seen a lot more buzz around Claude Cowork on Twitter and LinkedIn, more people integrating agentic workflows into their 9 to 5. So you'll see improvements there. And additionally, it's noted that it has better memory, fix this typo on how to spell memory for me, and also improved vision for higher resolution images. So you can pass in higher res mockups or screenshots of your projects you're working on, say, and it'll be able to read the text or analyze pixel perfect adjustments it needs to make. So a nice improvement there. Now, like I alluded to, a lot of new features in Claude Code came with this model release. The first one is this new xhigh effort level. You can think of it as the effort level sitting between high and max, outlined here on this graph. Essentially, the effort level is how hard your agent will persist when trying to solve your problems. So I outlined all the previous levels here. So if you have it on low, it's going to skip thinking, just prioritize speed and a quick answer. Medium, it might do some reasoning. High, it will do quite a bit of thinking. And max, there's absolutely no limit. So if you truly utilize xhigh, you'll be getting great results. I know I'm setting my default effort level to that. There's also this new /ultrareview command. It's essentially a way to conduct the PR review, but do deep, extensive research on the code. So it's going to run a dedicated viewer section, not do a quick pass. And they actually give you 3 free reviews for Pro and Max users. So these reviews won't use any of your token limit or expenditure. Then after those 3, it'll count against your quota. And it's estimated it burns about $15 to $25 worth of token per use. Personally, I have my own agents set up to review code, though I will be trying this out, though I don't see this becoming a real part of my workflow unless I have maybe these massive reviews. Next up is this new auto mode. So when you shift tab through plan mode, accept edits, bypass permissions mode, this will now appear in there. The first time it shows up, it's going to look like this and gives a brief explanation. Essentially, it's similar to bypass all permissions mode, though it's going to check itself before it does something too dangerous. So for example, if an agent might interpret instructions and ends up wanting to delete your database or make some drastic upsert into a database that would affect live customers, in auto mode, it's going to have classifiers. It's going to analyze every action and decide, hey, is this truly what the user intended, or is this going to be too destructive? So it's essentially like the bypass all permissions mode, where you can be pretty hands-off, but it will catch itself before it does anything too drastic. Now, everything I've shared is mostly good and positive. That's great. That's the vibe we keep in this channel. Though there have been some controversies around this release online, and always the Mythos factor has to be considered in the context of what Anthropic is releasing. In my last video, go check it out if you haven't already. Anthropic has a more powerful model, Mythos, they won't release because of security concerns and what the public could possibly achieve and hack into with that model. So they're currently testing it along with the large coalition of other companies known as Project Glasswing to patch all these bugs and make popular open source software secure before this powerful model is given to other people. It's interesting because if you read the 4.7 release notes, Anthropic intentionally shipped it with cyber capabilities intentionally reduced. They saw the red flags that arose with Mythos and what that was capable of, and they said, hey, all of our models in the future, we're going to make sure people aren't doing malicious things, hacking into foreign entities, whatever. I'm cool with this as long as it's not nerfed in its way of assessing own security threats in your own code bases. I don't really see a problem with it. Well, according to Polymarket, there's a 24% chance it gets released by July. Currently checked today. I'm not placing any bets. It could be later. I know Anthropic's planning for an IPO. That could come in more Q3 this year. There will be something to watch. And will be interesting to see whether other companies like OpenAI or Google release their own mega models similar to Mythos in the time leading up to that as a way to compete. Because Anthropic has been collecting a lot of wins recently. But a recent L of Anthropic was people noticed the 4.6 performance was nerfed in the last week or two. Pretty much whenever you signed on to tech Twitter, it's people complaining about 4.6 performance and them trying out 4.5 and getting better results. I personally, maybe anecdotally, noticed a small difference, though if I hadn't seen the uproar online, maybe would have not have noticed it myself. But the Primogen had an interesting take here where he said, it's truly space age tech that we can make something worse and then increment a number and re-release it to the public. Essentially saying that 4.6 was good, then they nerfed it, and then when they brought out the benchmarks we looked at earlier, it just makes 4.7 look that much better. Kind of taking a play out of the Apple playbook where they'll release an iPhone, it's great, and then in the months leading up to the new release, they'll nerf it, make it slower, add bugs, so that way you're more inclined to get the upgrade because it's, hey, it's nice, it's flashy, it works. It looks better in comparison. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did Anthropic intentionally nerf 4.6? Is Mythos just a lot of hype to build excitement and trust in Anthropic? What are other tech companies cooking for their models next? Thank you guys for watching. You are obligated to like if you learned anything. Make sure you subscribe for the latest AI news and workflows. And I'll see you in the next one.